Sharp-eyed Boston Globe readers may have spotted a small notice on Christmas Eve announcing that the paper was dramatically cutting back its comics and word games. The note to readers was short and to the point. After considerable reader research, we have discontinued several strips and 2 games. Several indeed. The Globe essentially dropped a whole page worth of weekday comics, including Zippy, Get Fuzzy, Dustin, and Bizarro. Gone too, the Daily Jumble. The Globe says the Sunday comics remain unchanged. Still, readers have voiced their displeasure, posting comments like, "The comics are a big reason to get the Globe. Bring them back." Another writes, "Having been a print subscriber for over 45 years, I don't need any more reasons to cancel." The disappearance of comics may be inevitable, much like the disappearance of newspapers themselves. That doesn't mean we won't miss them. Well, I'm not a big comics reader. I like all the word games, Jumble and crosswords. I'd be very upset if that, but I can understand people's passion over this. I mean, you read the comments on the websites.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, and Jim and Marjorie were talking about it yesterday on Boston Public Radio. The callers were just coming in and coming in. I know they mix these things up all the time. They drop one, add one, but this was very, I wonder how much a strip, does anybody have any idea? What a syndicated strip costs?
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Well, wasn't there, I read somewhere where dropping it would save you, I think dropping one page saves you about $300,000 a year.
Wow,
So,
a whole page is...
Right, exactly. I'm sad about this for 2 reasons. First of all, I always view the comics as kind of the vitamins that you take before you read all the heavy stuff, right? It inoculates you against some of the bad stuff around the world or here in this country that you're about to sink your teeth into. So as a grown-up, that's how I view it. So you get to laugh a little bit before you read the hard stuff. But as a kid, I also saw it as sort of the entry point for reading newspapers. Long before I was worried about what was happening in the city budget or happening internationally, I wanted to pick that thing up to see what was going to make me laugh and smile and think. And it was only after that that I started creeping through the rest of the paper. And so I think that by getting rid of this, we might be cutting off some potential young people who are going to fall in love with newspapers.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's what I find fascinating about this. There are now only 11 comics left in the print edition. If you go to the website, they've got 30 comics. They're there for you to read anytime you want as part of your Globe digital subscription. What I find interesting about it is that absolutely no one is mentioning that, and it makes me think that no one is finding their way to the comics on the website.
So these are all subscribers.
So I'm not being critical of the subscribers. I'm being critical of the Globe for not really making it clear that the comics are still there, folks. You just need to go onto the website. I mean, this is another example of giving more and better content to your digital subscribers than you do to your print subscribers, even though the print subscribers pay more. And as the Globe moves closer and closer, as every newspaper is, toward being mostly a digital operation, I think this is really an issue that they're going to need to grapple with, and it doesn't look like they're grappling with it very well.
Well, something I read in preparation for this conversation is that the comic drawers do not get any money for the internet, being on the internet.
Oh.
So,
not if they do it on their own.
Okay.
Certainly they're getting money from them being on the Globe website.
Okay, but do you have to be in both spaces? In other words, could you be only on digital and still get paid? See, I don't know about that.
If the Globe is running it, they have to pay for it.
Okay, all right. I'm just asking that question because I thought, well, maybe that answers the question about it. I'm nostalgic about it, though I haven't read the comics in the paper for a long time. That was my dad's way of teaching me to read, and I can remember the moment when I'm going following the bubbles on Nancy's, and I got to the end and I knew what Nancy said, and I was so excited, and so was he. So it was great. So that has a very resonant experience in my life. And to your point, Dan, I think there may be a lot of people who do that. However, I sadly don't think that a lot of young people are even picking up the paper to read the comics to begin with. I just don't think they even know comics are there. If they know, they're like Dan, they know they're online, and that's where they find them.
I hear my entry was Dear Abby to read the newspaper. But I think that comics, they're going to go away, right, as far as in the printed paper, and that's just things change. But I think that what we lose is a little bit of the shared experience of a reflection of our humanity. People used to cut out the comic strips and put it on the refrigerator.
Yes.
And you know, this resonated with me, or put it on the bulletin board at work and that kind of thing. So I think we lose that a little bit. The other thing that I think about this is I don't think the Globe handled it very well. I thought their announcement was very terse, and I thought that they didn't understand or reflect the emotional impact that taking this away from readers. Well,
they knew.
Well, they knew, but they didn't
do it better.
It wasn't reflected, and I think there was more vehemence in the comments because of that. So you know, you got to treat your readers with respect and understand what they like.
The old editor of the Boston Herald, Ken Chandler, always used to say that you mess with the funny pages, and that's the one thing that you know people are going to really up for. So but they knew.
I still miss the Far Side. It's been since 1995. I stopped liking the comics when the Far Side went away.